Hello YouTube, this is the Cannon Fanatic, and I'm here today to ask a question. Why do you guys no use Bait Doll? Okay, so last episode was Neko Main King, and that's kind of a really obscure card, and I can understand why people would be kind of off-put in using it. There exists much better options that deal with a variety of things, better than Neko Main King does. Bait Doll, on the other hand, is a really good card that I don't understand why people don't use. Basically, you start your turn, play Bait Doll. Any back row your opponent has, choose one, they flip it over. If it's a spell, hey, you now know what one of their set spells is. If it's a trap, they have to activate it. And if they can't activate it, the card is just sent to the grave. So, what are the uses of this? First off, warning, gone. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Bottomless, gone. Compulse, gone. Fiendish Chain, gone. Chain Destruction, Chain Disappearance, not Destruction. Or both. Or neither. I don't know. Gone. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Silly Text, Trap Hole, gone. Any of the Trap Holes, gone. Because I run Treacherous and Deep Dark. Well, not in my Spellcaster deck. I run Bottomless. But still, all gone. Macro, they have to use it then. Decree, they have to use it then, so you know what's there. Basically, this card removes all uncertainty you have about back row, or at least can help alleviate this. The best thing is, when they activate the trap, if it doesn't get rid of Bait Doll goes back in your deck, and you can use it again. If you have a deck that goes through, if you have a deck that draws a lot or goes through cards a lot, you can use this more than one time per duel. I've run it for 2 weeks in either my main or side, and I'm always able to use it more than once in a duel. And again, I run kind of a slow deck that has a lot of draw power, but still, this is an amazing card. And what happens if you pull a trap that they actually have to use, like Dark Bribe? What do you know? You just +1, because they have to use it. If it's Judgment, they just lost 4,000 life points, or however much half of what they currently have is. And all you did is lost a spell. A singular spell that's kind of a dead draw sometimes. But it's an amazing card. I don't understand why you guys don't use it. I mean, some people put it in their side as a strange tech. I main this sucker. You can get it from Battle Pack. Don't know where you can get it from before that. I'm not that good at the game yet. But this thing is still pretty good, regardless. I don't care if you're good at the game, I don't care if you're bad at the game, I don't care if you're new, or you're a veteran. This card's good. You don't have to worry about traps as much, and you don't have to be uncertain about what your opponent has. If they set a Heavy Storm as a bluff, you now know that. If you're playing against Dark Worlds and they set anything as a bluff, you now know that. If they didn't set a bluff, well, you now know that. If they set a Dark Bribe, or if they set a Dark Deal, they have to activate it, so that's kind of a plus for them, but I'm sure they would prefer to activate it on a more damning spell card than Bait Doll. This is a good card. It gets rid of the uncertainty for you, as well as it completely mucks up what your opponent was trying to do with their spells and traps. In some ways, it's better than Heavy Storm, because you can run more than one of these guys. So, because of that, and I'm not even going to go into specific decks. The only thing you need to know is this was really bad against Chaos Dragons, except for that they run maybe 1 to 3 traps. And if not, they still run spells. So, if you don't know if they're the trap variants or the 9 spells variants, now you know. And that's the utility this card has. It's not a good card on its own based on its effect, but the fact that it gives you information about what your opponent has on the field, which more often than not is worth more than a card that just gets rid of what's on the field. You don't want to waste an MST or a Heavy Storm in their back row if it's not important. Or if you have one MST and they have 2 set cards, you now know which one's the bluff and which one's the real one. Or if they're both real ones, you can still hit them both. And you get this one back in your deck as long as one of them wasn't like Dark Bribe or Judgment. The utility of this card and the fact that it gives you information about what your opponent has on the field is why it's such a good card. And I don't understand why you guys no use. So, if you'd like to explain to me why this card isn't as good as it really is, you'd like to talk about it, discuss, whatever, tell me that, hey, you were kind of right, I'm going to start using this card now, or I mean, it's one of those moments. I don't see why. It's a really good card. So, anything, feedback at all, use this. You can leave feedback down there, but that doesn't change. Use this. It's better than you think it is. Trust me. Use it. Use it in your deck for at least a month so you know fully how to use it well. You will not regret it. So this has been the Canine Fanatic. Why do you know use bait doll? Signing out.